Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whichever is the time you're connecting to watch or listen to this video. This video is going to be about chapter 3, Skin Structure Disorders and Disease. I want to also remind you that this is a review and that we will not be reading the whole chapter. Let's start with the term dermatology. It's the medical branch of science that deals with the study of skin, its nature, structure, functions, disease, and treatment. A dermatologist is the doctor that treats the skin. So let's talk about the skin, its layers, nerves, glands, and sublayers. The integumentary system is an organ system consisting of the skin, hair, and nails, and exocrine glands. So this is the skin. The skin is the largest organ of the body. If the skin of an average adult were stretched out, it would cover over 3,000 square inches and weigh about 6 to 9 pounds. Our skin protects the network of muscles, bones, nerves, and blood vessels, and everything else inside our bodies. I think this is important. And this is important too. It is our only barrier against the environment. The skin located under our eyes and around the eyelids is the tiniest. Very important too. The skin of the palm of our hands and the sole of our feet are the thickest. Healthy skin is slightly moist, soft, and flexible with a texture that ideally is smooth and fine grained. So let's talk about the callus. Most people think that a callus needs to be removed, but a callus comes out because the skin was being hurt, and the way for that part of the skin to be protected is developing a callus because it's hard and it's harder to damage the skin. So now we're going to talk about the layers of the skin. We have the epidermis, and the epidermis is divided in 5. So the epidermis is the outermost and tiniest layer of the skin. Very important. And it's divided into 5 layers. So we have the stratum corneal. This one is the first line of defense against foreign substance and UV rays. Then we have the stratum lucidum, which is the clear transparent layer just under the skin. The stratum granulosum, which is the grainy layer, consists of cells that look like small, distinct granules. The stratum spinoso, which is often referred to as the spiny layer, And this one is the deepest layer of the epidermis. Lastly, we have the stratum germinativum, which is also known as the basal layer and is the deepest living layer of the epidermis. So let me reset this part. The stratum spinoso is above the stratum germinativum, because I think I made a mistake when I said that it was the deepest layer. So the stratum spinoso is not the deepest, it's above the deepest. And then the stratum germinativo is the deepest layer of the epidermis. Then we have the dermis. The dermis is the true skin. Underlying or inner layer of the skin is also called derma, corium, or cutis. This highly sensitive layer is about 25 times thicker than the epidermis. Within its structure, we have the blood vessels. Then we have the arectophilis. The arectophilis is what we call the goosebumps. Okay, so this is an tiny involuntary muscle at the base of the hair follicles that cause your goosebumps. The dermis has two layers, the papillary layer and the reticular layer. The reticular layer is the deeper one. The papillary layer is an upper layer of the dermis located directly beneath the epidermis. The reticular layer is the deepest layer of the dermis and supplies the skin with all its oxygen and nutrients. Remember that we talked about the epidermis before the dermis. The epidermis do have a deepest layer. The dermis have one too. So don't get those confused, please. The subcutaneous layer is a fatty layer found below the dermis. So out of all the layers of the skin, the deepest one is the subcutaneous layer. This one gives smoothness and contour to the body, contain fats and store oil-soluble vitamins and hormones, acts as an emergency source of food and energy. Nerves of the skin. I'm sorry, I passed. Let's go back. We have the motor nerve fibers, the sensory nerve fibers, and the secretory nerve fibers. The motor nerve fibers are, for example, the arectopili, the one that give you the goosebumps. The sensory nerves react to heat, cold, touch, pressure, and pain. The secretory nerve fibers are distributed to the sweat and oil glands of the skin. So let's highlight the important things. Sense of touch. The papillary layer of the dermis houses the nerve ending and provides the body with sense of touch. And here we have a picture. Then we can look at where's the epidermis, where's the dermis. strength and flexibility of the skin. The skin gets its strength, form, and flexibility from two specific structures composed of flexible protein fibers found within the dermis. The two structures are called collagen and elasticin and make up to 70% of the dermis. Collagen is a fibrous protein that gives the skin form and strength. There are as many as 16 types of collagen throughout the body. However, collagen types 1 and 3 are most abundant in the skin. Collagen fibers are interwoven with a protein called elastin, which makes up to 15% of the collagen fibers. This fiber gives the skin a flexibility, helping it regain its shape even after being repeatedly stretched or expanded. Both fibers are important to the overall health and appearance of the skin. Most scientists now believe that signs of skin aging under the age of 50 are caused of previous sun exposure. Glands of the skin. We have the sudoriferous glands, the sweat glands, and we have the sebaceous glands, that are the oil glands. In the picture, we can see the sweat gland and the sebaceous gland. The sweat gland, I will call it like the water secretion, and the sebaceous gland secrete oil. In the sweat glands, we have two types, the apocrine and the eccrine. The apocrine usually associated with our hair follicles, scalp, underarms, and genitals. They secrete fatty sweat. Eccrine glands are major sweat glands of the body and found all over the skin. I went all the way down right here. Let's go up. Let's go here. I'm sorry about that. Right here. Sorry about that. The mouse went up. How the skin is nourished. Lymph. It is a clear fluid of the body that resembles blood plasma but contains only water and other colorless substances. This fluid is supplied from the lymph nodes and bathes the skin cells, removes toxins and other cellular waste, and has immune functions that help protect the skin and body against disease. Describe the 6 primary functions of the skin. These are protection, sensation, heat regulation, excretion, secretion, and absorption. Protection. The skin is highly efficient barrier that protects the body from bacteria, fungus, etc. Sensation. Sensation is the stimulation, like heat, cold, touch, pressure. Heat regulation. The body has to be in a 98.6 degree Fahrenheit at all times, most likely. Excretion is the perspiration from the sweat glands. Secretion is sebum. It's an oil secreted by the sebaceous glands. Absorption is how we absorb substances through our skin. So let's talk now about the nutrition. Nutrition is a big thing for the skin. You know, I don't know if you have heard before that you are what you eat. Most people just think about a size of clothing, but it refers more to your organs, the what you cannot see. How are they working? Because you're not eating, or you are eating what you're supposed to, or what you're not supposed to. Nutrition is the process of converting proteins into energy. Vitamins play an important role in the skin health. We have different type of vitamins. We have oil soluble, that those are A, D, E, and K. They store in our fat tissue and use when we exert energy. And we have the water soluble vitamins, which are B and C, and these are consumed quickly and flushed out through the sweat elimination. Vitamin A. These are very important. You might see them in questions depending on who your teacher is and how he or she made your quizzes. So let's pay close attention to these. Vitamin A supports the overall health of the skin and aids in the health function and repair of skin cells. Vitamin C is an important substance needed for proper repair of the skin and tissues. Vitamin D. So we are in vitamin D. Vitamin D enables the body to properly absorb and use calcium. Also promotes healthy, rapid healing of the skin. Vitamin E helps protect the skin from the harmful effects of the sun rays. It slows the loss of elasticity and helps in the healing of wounds. Vitamin K helps the body respond to injuries and it regulates normal blood clotting. It also assists the transport of calcium throughout the body to reduce bone loss and decrease the risk of bone fractures. B vitamins help the body break down nutrients from protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Water and the skin. Water is very important for the skin. It help the body gets in its nutrients. The environment also has to do with our skin aging faster, the exposure to the sun, if we smoke, if we drink alcohol, all of that contribute to our skin aging. Here we can see a skin different when you smoke, when you are exposed to the sun too much. Approximately 80 to 85% of our skin aging is caused by the sun, so the UV X-rays. So the UV energy of the sun reaches the skin in two different forms, UVA and UVB. UV is not considered to be light since it's not visible to the human eye. UVA and UVB energy affect the skin at different levels. UVB rays are shorter and have the higher frequency. UVB, also known as the burning rays, can cause sunburns. Melanin is designed to help protect the skin from all UV energy but can be altered or destroyed by frequent exposure to UVB. UVA or aging rays can penetrate the earth crust up to 20%. The longer the UVA ray break down collagen and elastin, which contributes to the loss of skin tone and causes wrinkles, sagging, and cellulite. Here are some precautions. So we have to use sun protection from 15 to 30. We cannot go out to the sun 10 to 3 because it's when the highest UV rates are. We have to apply sunscreen as many times as needed. It will have to be water resistant if we're going to go in the water. The Fitzpatrick scale. This is a system to implement the standard for determining how quickly a person may burn when exposed to UV light. So here is, depending on your skin tone, how light your skin is, how burned can you get. So let's do it like this. Maybe this one is better. Like babies will be up here on number 1. Then we have 2, your color of eyes, of hair, what happened when you get exposed. Some symptoms of skin disorders, we have to pay attention to these. So, lesion is a mark on the skin. There are 3 types. We have primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary lesions are different color than the color of the skin and are raised above the surface of the skin. So we have some right here. We have bulla, cyst, macule, nodule, papule, pustule. I'm also going to the side so you can see and read through. Tumor, vesicle. A tumor is cancer, okay? Wheal. It can be by a mosquito bite. Secondary lessons. These are characterized by piles of material on the skin surface, such as cross scab, or by depression of the skin surface, such as an ulcer. This requires medical referral. That means that you cannot touch the skin. Crossed, excoriation, fissure, keloid, scale, scar, ulcer. Disorders of the sweat glands. We have anhidrosis, bromidrosis, hiperhidrosis, y Milady rubra. So anhidrosis is when you have a deficiency in perspiration, in sweat. Bromidrosis is when you have a smell, a noticeable smell when you sweat. Hiperhidrosis is when you sweat too much. Milady rubra is a prickly heat. So, acute inflammatory disorder of the sweat glands that characterized by an erosion of a small red vesicle. Skin inflammations, dermatitis, an abnormal inflammatory condition of the skin, and eczema, an inflammatory, painful itching disease of the skin. Cellulite, psoriasis. Cellulite appears as a swollen red area of the skin and feels hot and tender. Psoriasis, a skin disease characterized by red patches covered with silver-white scales, usually found on the scalp, elbows, knees, chest, and lower back. Pigmentation disorder. We have albinism, that is the absence of pigment of melanin. We have chloasma, which is an increase of the pigment. We have lentigines, which are also called lentigo, and this one is freckles. We got leukoderma, that is a skin disorder characterized by light abnormal patches and causes by a burn. So let's highlight these important things. Nevus, small or large malformation of the skin. Port wine stain, an abnormal brown or wine color skin discoloration with an irregular shape. Tan, a change of pigmentation of the skin by the sun. Vitiligo, white milky spots on the skin. Vitiligo is hereditary. Skin cancer. Primary cause by overexposure to the sun. We have moles, basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, malignant melanoma, infection skin disorders. We have herpes simplex, verruca, tinea manus. It will be on your nails, scalp, feet, and body as well. This is like a ringworm. Tinea pedis, athlete feet. So we are going to read right here where it says we have dermatitis. So we have contact dermatitis, which means that is most common avoidable skin disease for nail technicians. You can see the picture right there. And up to right here is going to be our review for this chapter for today. I hope it's of great help to you guys. I see you in the next video. Goodbye.